Look what I just ordered. This trip is going to be great.
Bring enjoyment back to your game with golfknickers.com. Traditional golf knickers in bold colors and plaids, all with same-day shipping. Over 100 different socks and matching sweaters. Perfect for corporate outings, weddings, and special events.
Thanks, golfknickers.com, for making our tournament such a success.
Make your experience memorable.
Best time ever.
Call today for a free catalog.
Welcome back to Big's Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all your Amazon devices, including BGT-TV on YouTube.
Woohoo!
Yahoo! YouTube, be sure to subscribe. I am Big John Quick. He is the Golffather, Bill Cuevas, and Amanda Robertson joining back with us on this roundtable discussion. And our roundtable discussion topic is Michelle Wie responding to on a podcast the highly inappropriate comments made by former Mayor Rudy Giuliani, what he said with the late Rush Limbaugh. The golfing world has rallied around Michelle Wie West following comments made by Donald Trump's former lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, objectifying the 5-time LPGA Tour winner. The former New York mayor appeared last Thursday on a War Room podcast hosted by Trump's ex-advisor, Steve Bannon, and was remembered around a golf he played with Wie West and the late talk show host Rush Limbaugh at a charity event back in 2014. As he recalls it, Limbaugh was complaining about the paparazzi and blamed Giuliani, only for the New York mayor to point out photographers were then for Wie. She married Johnny West, director of basketball operations for the Golden State Warriors, back in 2019. On the green is Michelle Wie, and she is getting ready to putt, Giuliani said on the podcast. And Thursday, now Michelle Wie is gorgeous. She's 6 feet tall, and she has a strange putting stance. She bends all the way over, kind of 90 degrees, if you will, and her panties show. And the press was going crazy about it. Giuliani went on to finish his story asking, is that okay to tell that joke? I'm not sure. To which Bannon replied, we already told it, so I don't know. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani and Rush Limbaugh look on as Michelle Wie plays during the L's for Autism Pro-Am at the PGA National Golf Club on March 10th back in 2014 in Palm Beach, Florida. Michelle Wie plays during the L's for Autism Pro-Am at the PGA National Golf Club on March 10th back in 2004. Like I said, Wie West called Giuliani's story highly inappropriate and unsettling. What this person should have remembered from that day was, in fact, that I shot 64 and beat every male golfer in the field, leading our team to victory. I shudder to think he was smiling to my face and complimenting me on my game while objectifying me and referencing my panties behind my back all day long, said Wie West in her Twitter post. Well, I actually have opinion about this, and I know Amanda Robertson, the golf diva, has an opinion about this. Bill, the Golffather Cuevas,
I have opinion about it. we all have opinions about it. You know, we're all gonna have. But you know, you spoke out when we talked about what we wanted to discuss on the round table. I know Amanda is the one that brought it to light. We just weren't sure which one until we did a little bit of research, and we decided, you know, while it could possibly be a little bit on the shaky side, that we're going to continue and go along with it anyway and talk about it, because these are the kind of words that need to be, these stories need to be out there and discussed and make sure that they possibly don't ever happen again.
So let's turn to the LPGA star here on Big's Golf Talk, the golf diva herself. And Amanda, you're very familiar with one Michelle Wie before she got married to Johnny West. Great individual for the most. Has, as of late, become very opinionated on her television cast that she's, analyzing for. In this instance, what's your opinion?
So most people are probably most females are gonna tear me apart for this, but
Ooh.
I have to say my piece. So one thing in that story that I want to throw in there is that, so after you said the press was going crazy and him and Limbaugh kind of said, well, they're trying to take pictures of her underwear. It's not you, it's not me. It's her underwear.
Right.
So that was, I mean, I get it. I don't think that that's something so this in reference was the interview that he gave, storytelling the day that Rush had passed. So this was trying to honor Rush. It was just not the appropriate time.
It went in a different direction.
Sure. We shouldn't even be talking about this. Hey, I remember when I played golf on the golf course with Rush and Michelle Wee, we had a great time, blah, blah, blah. And he was a hoot, whatever. But on the flip side, and this is where things are going to get juicy.
Oh, snap. Let me fix my chair.
He said, hold on.
Fixing my chair. Hold a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm nice and tall. I'm ready.
I've played in a lot of pro-ams, played with a lot of men on the golf course.
Yes.
Why in the world do you wear something that your underwear ever have a chance of showing? Ever. If the fact that you are putting and your underwear are showing, there is a much bigger issue here than them. Of course, is it right for them to talk about it or oogle over it or objectify? How does someone not objectify something that is factual in front of you? You are bending over. Now, if you choose for your underwear to show, more power to you. I hope you get a bigger tip at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, but then don't complain about being objectified.
Right.
When
It's
what,
like,
and for those that don't realize what Michelle Wee wears, and she's a gorgeous woman.
She's gorgeous.
A great person, a great heart, great. However, she does push the line as far as wearing the shortest of skirts.
She does. But which is
tour.
okay. I'm not opposed to that. I think sex sells. I think it's a great thing. It's not, there's no shame in being a beautiful woman. Like, I think that's totally fine. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say,
and they do. They want that.
Today I'm choosing not to wear a bra. But I hope no one objectifies and looks at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though my boobs are hanging out. Like, no chance. And so, like you said, I respect and I love and appreciate Michelle Wee, but I think that, and should that have happened, and should that story have even been told, especially in that setting? No, definitely not. But at the same time, I have played golf for a very long time, and I wear shorter stuff. I have never once had my underwear show. Never once.
That's because most of the time there's a skirt, right?
I don't know why your underwear are even exposed.
Right.
Because, every golf skirt is a skirt. You're correct. That has shorts. They should. So the fact that you're wearing something, and I don't know, I would imagine because she bends over at a 90-degree angle that they're talking from the underside that it was shown. I'm just flabbergasted at the fact that you reprimand him for telling the story. Reprimand him for embarrassing you on something that didn't even involve you. Don't reprimand him for oogling over your underwear that was showing at the wrong time. Anyway, that's my piece.
And here's the other thing. As I said, she's a beautiful person, gorgeous,
and that's what she wants. She just wants to be. She doesn't want to be objectified.
Objectified. Here's the bottom line, folks. I know we're in a time where genders don't want to be genderfied, whatever the case, whatever terminology these kids use these days. However, I'm a man. You're a woman. Okay. That's that is biology. Okay. With Michelle Wee being a woman and me being a man that might be attracted to women. Okay. Now, do I control that attractiveness? Sure. Do I control, how I react? Yes, obviously.
Sure. They obviously didn't say anything to her during the day.
Exactly.
She didn't.
And that's what most people are.
Yeah, like nothing. She didn't know any of this. They kept it. They didn't do anything. It was between him and Rush,
Until
and
he decided to knock
whatever,
him.
and the paparazzi that's taking 1,000
Yeah.
pictures of her
And
underwear.
This happened to me when I was working in retail. And for those
You
that
bent
know where I
over
work-
in your underwear?
no, but it's kind of the same thing of where I called somebody sweetie.
Oh,
And I would say, well, this particular person held the door open for me to get to the dock and everything else, and I was rolling my cart back there and all of that. And I said, "Thank you, sweetie." And she went to my supervisor, and I got chastised for sexual harassment. And I never even asked this girl out. I never complimented her on her, on
it wasn't even a
part
compliment. It was just a
Holding the door open.
term
Right.
of endearment.
Yeah,
But you see that a lot. We're seeing it everywhere. We see it with
It's
the
so
social
bad.
influencing thing that we have going on. I was having a conversation with a sponsor, and I'm helping him do a few things, and we were talking about the women's side and stuff like that. And do we want to go that route, in which we absolutely won't? It's not going to go that route. Do we want to go where unfortunately sex allegedly sells, with the girls and the guys with the shirts off and all that stuff? Do you want to bring your brand into that
and
section?
you know what?
don't?
Here's the thing: women do it all the time as a bartender. Anywhere there's gratuity involved, women do it all the
100%.
time to boost up that gratuity.
Mhm.
Call
Well,
you
I
sweet,
don't-
sexy, or handsome, or whatever the case might
Right.
be. They will do whatever they can to compliment you
Sure.
to get a bigger tip.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Amanda.
I'm a professional golfer, and I own a company that fundraises for money for charities on the golf course. Now, our niche is that we're not slutty. We are professional women golfers, and we are classy and upstanding. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to look cute while I'm out there. I want to be cute and presentable. I want to use that to raise more money for the charities. It's the basis of what we do. It doesn't mean that my underwear need to show. It doesn't mean that, I just don't. This is a no-brainer to me. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in the case. I don't think ever once that my underwear even had an opportunity to show.
Yeah.
And you're golfing, so you're not on the beach. You're not
No.
at a club. You're golfing,
you're golfing.
and most golfers, especially on the
And
LPGA,
you
wear
gotta think-
shorts or wear skirts. What in the
Always.
hell? Yeah, it's a pro-am.
This is like 7
What
years
is it?
ago, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
7 years
Yeah,
ago.
so she never knew this whole time.
That there was
And then
anything going on or what's in their brain until this podcast this past whatever it was.
Yeah, and we see it more. And more
He brought up a memory about Rush Limbaugh
Yeah.
remembering golfing with
Sure.
Lydia Cole.
And like I said,
he
Was
should
it
he should have
tactful?
known better.
yeah, was
No,
it
that's like
tactful
me
to tell
being
that story?
deciding a
Probably
close
not.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we want to tell the golf when we met the golf diva on the golf tour, on Torridge, and all the fabulous things that she said about me when
And
I
the
was
cleavage
golfing.
that she's shown when she was.
And the,
I didn't
cleavage
know-
that I have so much of.
I didn't know. I didn't notice what he's talking about, but I know that she kept looking at me, and I felt very uncomfortable.
I felt very
I felt very uncomfortable, and I can only imagine the stories that she was
She kind
telling.
of just rubbed elbows. It's just I like older men.
I think there's a part of it, and this is where it gets that gray area, that kind of
Right.
hairy
Yeah.
line. I'm a very outgoing, so like even meeting you guys on the golf course,
Mhm.
I don't have to go back to that day and know for sure, but I can almost 100% tell you that when we met, I at some point put my hand on your shoulder and said, "Oh my gosh, hi!" Like
Right.
that's just who I am.
Took my
But
phone, took a picture of yourself, and said, "Here, so you don't
Yeah.
forget me."
yeah, but I think that there's things that we've got to stop with this picking and pulling apart every little thing. It has to be you know what the intent behind it was. And that's where it should come from, is the intent, and not just it's not a black or white situation. It's not, there is a huge gray area. Ugh.
It's not like Rush Limbaugh and Rudy Giuliani on that date turned to Lydia Cole and says, "Wow, girl, you got some underwear."
Yeah.
They didn't say it out, but
They just had it in the back of
they
their
had
mind.
it in their
I mean,
mind.
sure,
They talked about it.
You know, you're talking about Michelle Wee, right?
Yeah.
Well, Michelle Wee. I mean, like I said, if I'm in that pro-am, that's something I'm going to remember for a long time.
Well, that's also that comment to Rush. Like
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer for two guys hanging out. They'd be like, "Oh, the paparazzi isn't here for you or me. They're here for our underwear."
By talking about it. That's
Right.
that
Yeah,
was
and
his
they
only
weren't-
dumb thing that he did. He
Ugh.
should have kept that private. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You know what? This was a podcast of dudes,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
and Rudy Giuliani doesn't hold punches when it comes to, you know,
No.
what they have experienced, whatever the case might be.
Mhm.
I don't see anything what he said on the podcast wrong. He didn't.
No.
I'm sorry. I like I said, Michelle Wee is a great person,
Mhm.
you know, and I respect the hell out of the LPGA.
Especially, but it hurt the feelings. And in today's world, if your
Also,
feelings get hurt,
right.
that's the world that we become.
You
know,
go to your platform.
It is as soon as somebody's feeling get hurt. It doesn't matter if it was 7 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You hurt somebody's feelings. It's talked about now,
Right.
and you know
But-
it starts things. It starts things that it could be anything that he's been doing from this
Right.
time on. Now you open the can of worms where I can voice my opinion and
Mhm.
play on that stuff. So I think we're all guilty of it. I think women, men, and
Oh,
anyone,
everybody.
whatever it is, everybody's guilty of doing something behind
Sure.
closed doors. If I talk to Biggs, oh my God, that woman's beautiful. And now all of a sudden
Now
it gets
somebody
twisted.
overhears it.
Yeah,
You know, whatever
and
case
oh,
might
they were
be.
Yeah,
talking
right.
about her sexually. No, we just said that she was a good-looking woman. But things
Right.
can get turned, or we can mention it in 7 years. Oh, remember when you met Amanda and we met? Yeah,
Yeah.
remember that dress she was wearing? And now all of a sudden, oh my God,
All of a sudden, it's
sexualized.
well.
And that's not what it's about.
She brought up the fact that she said, I wish what they should have remembered was the fact that I shot 64 and I beat everybody.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. This podcast was in remembrance of Rush.
Yeah.
It wasn't about Michelle Wee. It wasn't about golf. It was about, let me tell you what a crack up of a
Right.
time
Yeah.
I had with Rush. It was
Right.
it was more of a memorialized.
It was one of those things where him and Rush was having a conversation. Oh, paparazzi? Yeah, they're not here for us. They're
No.
here for Miss Underwear here or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Right. And I'm not
They try to
saying
make a joke out of it,
Right.
and it backfired.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
I-
excuse it, but
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, back in when we were younger and we had the comedians that we had growing up, it didn't matter whether they're Asian, black, white. It didn't matter. Whatever they made fun of their own race, they made fun of everybody else's
other-
race.
yep.
They made fun of people. Most of the stuff that they allegedly made fun of was based on that kind of stuff that normally really happens. You can't do that nowadays. You
No.
can't say the word. You can't do anything because it's going to offend somebody. And if you offend one person, that's too many people.
That's too
And
many.
do you want the fallback on that kind of stuff? So we're minding our P's and Q's about everything, trying to use the proper term, and people don't even talk.
No.
It's kind of
well,
sad.
at some point, these media outlets, and here we find ourselves talking about it, right?
Mhm.
Talking about Michelle Wee's response. I mean, we were never talked about Rudy Giuliani or
On
or
anybody
Rush
like that.
Limbaugh talking about that unless she responded to it.
Yeah. And
Sure.
on social media.
Yeah, right. And so we are guilty of responding to the response where
Sure.
we should be saying, forget it, Michelle. What the hell is,
No.
she's just
Yeah.
blowing off. whatever
And
case
that's
might
the
be,
thing.
but-
If you don't respond to it, you're not going to get nobody's. If she didn't respond, Amanda
Or if
wouldn't
there
have
was-
seen it.
or if there was
she
a
would-
news story not,
we would have
written about
never
it.
known.
Yeah.
So it would have virtually just disappeared from where that was. But now you
Right.
social media brings it to the news media. Everybody brings it. Now everybody's talking about it. So now it becomes a much bigger thing because you want to bring it to light. Everybody wants to bring
Right.
their problems and issues to light so everybody knows. I don't believe, sexualizing any kind of woman for what they do. And I've talked about it in golf, with what it was years back, how the girls were playing. I'm like, no, this is golf. I want to see golf. I don't want to see mini skirts. If the guys got to wear long pants, put some longer skirts on them, do what they have to do. Let's make it about the game of golf.
Amanda and I have said it, earlier on
Mm-hmm.
in this segment was Michelle Wee. If you don't want your underwear to be seen, don't show
Don't
it.
show it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of
Cover it up.
right. And it wasn't, let me tell you, like, if your underwear are going to show to that capacity. I'm not talking like, your shirt lifts up.
How short that, her skirts
But that's
are.
the thing. The fact that you're putting and your putting style, that you're bending completely over.
Yeah.
But I also have to say, and this doesn't excuse it, but different generations are very different. I will say that. And I've worked in a lot of different situations and in construction. And I will tell you that they come Rush Limbaugh, Rudy Giuliani. Like I said, it doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it definitely was a different time when they were growing up. We didn't have all of these PC, you got to be careful what you say. So I think that's a big part of it too.
And it doesn't excuse him. You're right. It doesn't excuse.
It doesn't excuse it.
But
No,
that
but
must be a private conversation that he decided to make public.
yeah, right.
All right, we're out of time here, but Amanda's got to go, and we got to head into hour number 2. Amanda, have a great weekend.
Thanks
for
guys.
joining us once again, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right, heading into hour number 2 right here on BGT-TV and Big's Golf Talk. We'll be right back right after this.